Hello, welcome to Spectral Tarot. Today I am doing I don't even, I can't even remember what it's called. I'm doing a reading on the full moon in Sagittarius, lunar eclipse, fucking clusterfuck of a celestial crazy time. I don't even know what's going on right now. I've been sleeping like 12 plus hours. It's nuts. The dreams. Oh, there's so much to get into. Um yeah. So I'm still open for personal readings. I've been still doing personal readings. I've also been downloading a bunch of meditations, like writing them all out that I'm probably going to record soon. There's just so much going on. But I needed to get on here and do a reading for you guys for this whole freaking energy. So first of all, when I got into these decks this morning, this is what I'm using. So I got this one out. I wanted to use my Starseed Oracle. So I open it up, and what the heck is on top? These two cards from the Wisdom of the Oracle, which is a completely different color. Like, look at the difference of colors in these cards. They're supposed to be that color. And this is what was on top. These two. And, like, I've used these decks recently, like, within the past week, but not together. I don't think, at least. And these two cards were on top. I don't even remember pulling these cards in any of my pulls. Like, it's fucking weird. So I figured I would go with those two cards for the reading this morning, and then I pulled one from the Starseed that I actually wanted to pull. Not surprised we got Earth pulsing. So there's a lot going on right now. Collectively, globally, we're seeing, Spirit is seeing like a lot of ignorance. Yeah, I keep on hearing that like golden rule, treat your neighbor the way you want to be treated. And we're not seeing a lot of that right now. I'll get into that in the at the closer to the end of the reading, but I wanted to start off with this Yang card and the earth pulsing. So this card coming out, this is the masculine energy. But with this like fireball coming out of the hands, it, like, as soon as I saw that card, I was like, it's the core, like the core of the earth. And it's funny because if you've watched any of my readings, you know that I get a lot of my messages coming through media that I consume, whether it be on online or through movies, TV shows. And lately, honestly, the past week, like, I've been so sleepy, but I've been really drawn to movies about the core of the earth, or somehow that gets brought up. Like, The Core came on Netflix, so I watched that. I watched Journey to the Center of the Earth. Disney Plus came out with, or I don't know if they just came out. I just realized my thing was set on 14A, so I like went up to R and I found all the Alien versus Predator movies. And I don't know why, I just like got a flashback of one of those tubes going down to the center of the earth. And I'm like, I swear that's in one of the movies. I don't know if it's in Alien versus Predators or something, but so there's all this imagery about going down to the core, to the center of the earth, and there's something going on there. And so when the earth pulsing card came out, I'm not surprised. It says, pulse of the mother, slow down, time in nature. And when I see this waterfall, that's like one of those tubes that goes down to the center of the earth. It's exactly what I was picturing. But we've also seen since December 2020 a rise in the Schumann resonance, that frequency, the Earth's heartbeat. It's like gone up so much, and we don't know what's going on, and it really does affect us as humans. Like, I'm talking about this at a scientific level and also at a spiritual level, where I find a lot of my beliefs do kind of walk that line of fringe science. A lot of my beliefs about energy, like I've suggested on my Instagram page before, the Barbara Brennan book, Hands of Light, because she used to be a physicist. And then she was like, oh shit, there's more going on here. And she started understanding that for herself. Like the energetic field around our body it's can pretty much be measured by physics. Like it's all the same shit that we're talking about. So the Schumann resonance is really the Earth's heartbeat. But I found it very interesting that like when I started feeling a difference probably about a month ago, I started researching the Schumann resonance because it came up in I used to be a geography major back when I started my schooling, like earth science major. So I remember it from back then, but I wanted to do a bit more research in it. And it's actually like the Schumann resonance is created by the storms that are going around the earth and the lightning strikes. That's what creates that frequency in that specific atmosphere. That might have butchered it to the sciencey people watching this, but that's just how my brain processes it. So, and there's been a lot of storm energy coming in, like the personal readings with my clients, but also just in like collective downloads. Like the storm has been coming through. And yeah, also now I'm seeing like the stone, if you have a chance to work with the crystal fulgurite, Fulgarite, I believe. It's actually sand that's been petrified into a crystal because it's been struck by lightning, and sometimes it's a tube. A lot of the times it's a tube. One second. Just like, what the heck am I doing? I have a piece I can show you. So this is fulgurite. So it is like a tube. I don't know if you can see it. And like as legends say, you can actually whisper your wants and wishes into the tube, and that energy puts it out into the universe because it's been struck by lightning. So I find it interesting, and now my brain's just kind of clicking it all together about that. Like those tubes, the light tubes. And this is something that I actually literally right before this card pull, I recorded myself doing a meditation that I'm going to record for you guys, hopefully. And it all has to do with our light tubes. It's about like connecting and grounding to the core of the earth and picturing it in different colors. It's so fucking weird the way these things come back around. But yeah, there's something there happening with the earth resonance, and I feel like we can all feel it, and it's almost like it's all coming up to the surface. And there's something about this Gemini season, like with everything going retrograde, with the eclipse happening, collectively there's a lot that we need to become aware of, and it's more than just this stuff that we're talking about right now, like the petty shit that we're talking about, which has to do with ourselves and our freedom. If you get where I'm going with that, like I'm hearing there's bigger fish to fry from spirit right now. Sorry, there's fucking cat hair on this and it's really bugging me. But yeah, with the dreams too, coming to the surface, there's a huge shift happening right now in our dream state and the levels of consciousness. So I've been doing a lot of downloads. I've actually filmed a few readings that I just never posted because I got so triggered. There's been a lot of imagery about like boats and water. If you watched the full moon in Scorpio reading, you know the Timberwolf Falls story. Like there's a lot of this imagery coming through the downloads, and even a few of the other readers that I watch or subscribe on Patreon to, one of them was getting a lot of arc downloads with Noah, and I totally feel that right now in the collective. And I see that between going from like the 2D, the 3D, the 4D, the 5D dimensions. Now this is something I'm like trying to process right now. I don't know how I feel about it. it's just, I'm trying to figure it out, because even with like, I don't know if you guys know anything about the Mandela effect. If you haven't, I definitely suggest you look into it, because it's just weird. I'm like, something's going on. Like, we're either shifting dimensions or shifting timelines. And I'm like, Spirit, what's going on? And I asked this morning, because I'm like, something, it just feels off, and it feels so hard to trust my, not really my intuition, because I've always had a very strong intuition, but trust the blueprint, I guess, or trust like the matrix or whatever what is going on right now. I'm just like, it's changing, and we can see it and feel it changing, but we can't really put our finger on it. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And the way Spirit kind of lined it up for me, it was like, when we, right now we're in like the 3D. We were in a 2D back in, I don't think any of us are in the 2D anymore, but I might be wrong. But like right now we're mostly in the 3D world. This is where we are. We're on planet Earth. And I see a lot of readings and literature and stuff on social media about the 5D, always getting to the 5D. I'm in the 5D. It's perfect in the 5D, in the fantasy 5D. And I'm like, okay, so 5D sounds like heaven, like paradise on earth. I believe it's possible, but I'm like, why does everyone fucking just skip over the 4D? Like it, I don't get it. We're just so wired to just be like, let's get to the 5D, and we don't even know what that really means. I don't even know if our human brains can process what that actually means. Like maybe it's aliens, who knows? we really have no fucking clue. And yes, like Spirit's just like honing in on this 4D energy. And when I was asking about the Mandela effect, I saw a shift between the 3D, the 4D, and the 5D. So I feel like as we're shifting from the 3D into the 4D, where there is more compassion, there is more understanding of the deeper soul lessons, getting into more complicated soul contracts, stuff like that. I can see people in my reading shifting from 3D to 4D. Sometimes we shift back, but Spirit's really highlighting this water energy, this flood, the tidal wave, whatever this water energy that's coming in, and we're trying to escape it instead of just let it happen. And now I see this when, and I'm not trying to like point people out, but those who are obsessed with the 5D and getting there, Spirit's like, you're missing the whole point. Like, and with that Noah's Ark imagery that that one reader kept on downloading, I'm like, it makes total sense. Like, I feel like I'm sitting here waiting in a boat, being like, for this wave, and I'm just like, everyone's like, you look fucking crazy. I'm like, yeah, but like, I'm not supposed to just be going there by myself, you know? Like, I'm here to help all of us get to the 4D, and then we can all get to the 5D. Like, it's not just about you. And I keep on saying that in my readings, like, it's not just about me anymore. Like, it never was. And I keep on saying anymore because I was in a state where my ego sometimes still is. Like, it's never a permanent fluctuation. I think that's the message that Spirit's trying to get across. Like, you don't just level up or ascend and then you're like, woo, I made it to this level, and then you're somehow above somebody or like a step up. No, we fluctuate between these dimensions, between these timelines. And I think that's where the Mandela effect comes in. Like, somehow, like, we're seeing a change as we shift in this weird energy. And like, this might resonate with you, this might not. It might resonate with you in a different way. Like, chat with me about it, let me know, because there is stuff coming up to the surface right now that a lot of us are ignoring or are thinking it's not our problem. And I kept on hearing, and this is coming up with the poised energy, the message with this card was othering injustice. And I see this with the Black Lives Matter movement, with white folks. Like, and I'm a white folk. It's it's so much easier to look at an injustice and want to do something about it and react to it and make a change about it if we can other the person that we can blame for that injustice. And now it's like, okay, and this is where I'm seeing too, and it's mirrored in the relationship and connection readings I've been doing. It's othering the karmic. It's, you got to look at the karmic in yourself too. Look at yourself. This is all a mirror. Like what it, and here I am getting frustrated. This is the point where I get triggered, and it's hard because we're trying to, and I'm doing this with my hand because we're like teetering on that fence of like this poised energy and wanting to do something about it, but then also just like slowing down and not doing anything. Like there's this confusing energy around it, but Spirit's like, no, it's that mirror there, like looking at yourself as the karmic. What are you here to teach other people? So often, like when we go into prayer and like talking to Spirit, we're like, why did you send me that person? Why are you doing this to me? Why do I deserve this? What did I do to have this happen to me? It's always at like us at the center. But Spirit's like, do you not realize that like we are also, like you are helping you're answering other people's prayers. You're a karmic in other people's lives to teach them lessons, to teach yourself a lesson because it's a mirror. Like, it's not this like very like that dichotomy. We're getting out of that thinking where it's like one or the other, it's good or bad. Like it's gray area, and I feel like this energy that's pulsing up to the surface right now, and I feel like the peak of it is coming in August and September, just like it did last year. Like that the full moon, I think it was in Pisces at the beginning of September. Ooh, that was like a culmination of just like a lot of pent-up energy, and I feel like it's going to happen again this year. We are seeing a very similar karmic pattern to last year, and I know everyone's very hopeful. We're like, yeah, like things are changing. Like the world might get back to normal, whatever that is. But all I'm seeing is toilet paper shortage last year, gas shortage this year. Like there's like George Floyd. It's like it's all being mirrored exactly the same way. And I'm getting frustrated because Spirit's frustrated and I'm frustrated, and it's a lot. It's a lot. And othering that injustice or trying to like ignore that, escape it, and just trying to get ourselves out of that 3D world. It's like Spirit saying that's not the point. You getting to the 5D and leaving everyone else in the 3D is not the point. Like, why else would we be here? Why else? There's probably lots of reasons why we're here, right? It's not just one or the other. Yeah. I don't even know where I was going with that, but with this center of the earth, I'm seeing a volcano too, with the mountains in the background in this card, and it's almost like the mountains are going to erupt by September. I see a lot of global issues erupting by then, and I know like I don't know how to say that without being like, be scared. Like it's not that kind of energy, but there's a lot of stuff that's going to be coming to the surface that's going to be hard to deal with. And I'm talking about like more stuff with celebrities, more stuff with that we're going to have to look at ourselves and realize that we are the center of that injustice. We perpetuate that injustice in our day-to-day lives. Whether it's the climate crisis, whether it's Black Lives Matter. Look at us in Canada. We have so much injustice with like the Aboriginal communities. It's awful, and it's so deeply ingrained. Like I've been doing research into like psychic psychic research, like parapsychology. I just wanted to see what was actually being done. And I came on all this research about how in the residential schools, a lot of the experimentations that they would do were psychic research because of the Aboriginal connection to spirit. And I'm like, ugh, and it's causing me to look at my own practices and my own rituals and how I feel as like a white person living on Algonquin territory. Like there's so much processing happening right now, but if you can't look at yourself as the karmic, if you keep on othering that injustice, you're going to keep on going on that same fucking loop over and over and over again. And you're not helping yourself, you're not helping other people. Like, again, I'm sorry I'm getting so heated about it, but there's just so much work to be done here. And Spirit's like, it just seems like we're looking at these distractions, or we're looking at mass and all this petty shit that doesn't really matter in the long run. Like if that's what you're worried about right now, the fact that you have to wear a mask, you're not seeing the big picture. But the worst part is the people who claim to be the most woke, the people who claim to be living in this 5D, are the ones that are like not doing the things to help their community right now. You get me? Like it's just yeah. And I keep on rubbing my legs, and I keep on hearing rubbed the wrong way. So I don't know if these are people around you, if you need this wake-up call. I know this reading might be triggering for some of you guys, but this is what is coming through the collective download. And if you keep on ignoring it, it's literally like Spirit is giving us access to this healing right now. You see this waterfall, and this person laying peacefully here, downloading, processing, and we're coming into a time where it's been time to act for a long time with this yang energy, this masculine energy, and we're trying to transmute that toxic masculine within all of us. I see this happening in the connection and relationship readings too. I'm going to be doing one of those readings here in the next few days, but there's so much of that othering injustice, that toxic masculinity, where like in the divine feminine community, they're like, those divine masculines, they're just all toxic. I don't want to be. I'm like, no. If you think you're in an actual twin flame relationship and you're not looking at that toxic masculine, mirroring the toxic masculine within yourself, you're just wasting your goddamn time, or you're not in a freaking twin flame whatever relationship, whatever that means to you. Like, Spirits, like, why are you guys so worried about the fucking labels and the outward appearance? And it's all ego. It's all ego, I'm hearing. But this is literally going to be blowing up by September. Yeah. So, get yourself a piece of fulgurite. But I think it's time that, and I see now why I'm getting all these downloads for these meditations, because all the meditations are centered around looking at yourself as a karmic. What are you here doing in service of spirit, whatever that means to you? There's a lot to process, but we got to get to work. And I hear some of you, even myself, being like, well, I have so much stuff going on a personal level. Like, I feel like I don't have the time or the energy to like deal with some of this collective stuff. But Spirit's like, you got to realize it's a mirror. Like the internal stuff is affected by the outer stuff. Like it's all connected. And we just all want to be this poised with this card. This is the first time I'm seeing it, but I'm seeing Instagram and like social media pages and this I'm hearing Fake Empire by The National. So maybe go listen to that song. It's very it's like those walls are crumbling down around this fake. I'm hearing the housing market. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Again, I keep on getting the messages that by 2022, I see the clouds up here kind of like parting. The sky's clearing a bit. But right now, yeah, like this energy is a lot clearer than this poised energy. Like, I think it's supposed to look like a sunset kind of dusty rose, but it looks a little polluted to me right now. But she's like, yeah, I'm beautiful. Look at me. Instagram influencer. Oh shit. But yeah, like there's something there, and they're showing me a meme now that went by the other day on Instagram, and it was like, this is pretty much us, and it was like a sinking boat, and they're like, the climate crisis, the economic crisis, and then there's like two girls just like posing on this sinking boat, and I'm like, that's very, yeah, it's very pertinent to what's going on right now. But with all this boat imagery, the water imagery coming in with the arc, like, yeah, I feel like a lot of us are kind of floating between that 3D, 4D energy. And you'll feel it too, especially in that dream world. I think the 4D energy is very dream based. We spend a lot more time processing in the dream world. We understand it a little more. It's weird, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Like, it's once you open up those gates. I know last week I had a memory of one dream come into my brain when I was at the bakery baking, and it just like unlocked this whole door of all my, like, my dream mall as a kid, my dream school, like all these dream places that I've always went back to in that subconscious world came all flooding back to me all at once. And it was so overwhelming because it was like almost like remembering a past life. Like, if you've ever had those kind of dreams where you're like, that wasn't me, but I know that was me. Like, it's very overwhelming and it can be very triggering. And yeah, so start taking note of your dreams if you haven't already, even just feelings about dreams, because you'll go back and you'll want to read those, especially around this time. I'm getting really shaky and cold now too. It's almost like the energy in this collective reading just went like this, just ooh. It got very, not even low, but deep. So I feel like there's a lot of deep healing going on right now. Be gentle with yourself as you are processing the injustice and not othering it, but looking at yourself as the karmic. What lessons are you here helping other people with? Like, it's not all about you. Yeah. Okay, I think that's all I'm seeing for this reading. Wow, yeah, almost 30 minutes of me just like rambling on. But I know that message, somebody needs to hear it. So if you want to book a personal reading, I'll put my email down below. And otherwise, I will see you next time. Take care, guys, and talk to you soon.